Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, December 21st. So it's only a few days until Christmas, and today is the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, so that means I get a new start today, the last of my floral crosses, so you'll get to see that later. And let's get going. I'm very excited about my stitching progress this past week. It was a little bit of a busy week in life, but I managed to get all of my acrostic goals finished. I didn't get any superfluous stitching done really, but like beyond those goals, which I do sometimes. But I got everything done right down to the wire. I think it was like maybe 11:30 p.m. when I turned in my last picture. But I did it. I'm so excited. I got the whole acrostic in Cross Stitch Township done. So this is, I didn't mark off the last little squares. Where is it? I didn't mark off the last few squares, but I got everything done. So that's exciting. And yeah, I don't think I had to change anything. I was able to do it. Woohoo! So first off, I'll show a couple things that I acquired this week. All digital. So I forget what day it was now, but a few days ago, I woke up to a rack, which is a random act of kindness by my friend Desiree over in the Netherlands, and she's several hours ahead of me, so she had already been up and awake for a while and got me this chart. So for Christmas, it's so cute. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs by Melissa Dawn of some kitties at Christmas time. It's called Candy Cane Lane. Super cute. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law recently, last winter, got a cat like that. And so that reminds me of him. His name's Puff. And this reminds me of my my parents' cat, Felix. So that's really cute. I'm thinking there's been a lot of Christmas projects that I've acquired the past year or so, and I haven't started any of them, but I love them all. So I'm thinking of having a few, like 4 or 5 new starts in possibly July, for Christmas in July, like one every week. And so I thought I could maybe start this one then, and along with a few others that are not full coverage. Just because it seems like November and December tend to be very busy months, and I don't really want to have to start a whole bunch of things or think about starting things or fitting that into my plans at the end of the year when I'm trying to wrap up goals in December. So July is maybe a better time to start Christmas things. So I'm thinking this coming year I'll start 4 or 5 things. So I'll share those plans later, but I'm pretty sure I know what they are right now. That chart, so thank you, Desiree. That was really exciting. I have no qualms with starting all the full coverage at this point, because for me, they're not that different than any other design or any other project, because a lot of my other projects are enormous also. So what difference does it make if it's full coverage or not? None of them are gonna get done. So let's just have fun and start them all, right? So anyways, that tipped me off to the thought that, well, maybe Heaven and Earth Designs is having a sale right now. And sure enough, they were. It was like a one-day sale, I think, so it's over now. But I've been wanting this book, or this pattern. I've been wanting this pattern for a little while. It's been on my wish list since it came out, and I've seen, I think, Alma from Alma's Little Wonders started it this past month. And one of the prompts in Full Coverage Fanatics Bingo needs something with a hot beverage. And I really had nothing in any of my full coverage with a hot beverage. But then I thought of this pattern because I knew I really wanted to start it. It's very me. So I went ahead and got it. I got Tea and Books, which is also Heaven and Earth Designs. It's by Bridget Ashwood. And it's got a teacup, which I love tea. You can even read a Twinings brand Earl Grey little tag there. Butterflies, flower, probably not a rose, maybe a poppy, but maybe. Which are my favorite? Roses are my favorite. And then all these books, which is fun. There's even Pride and Prejudice in there, which I love. So I had to do the full version because I really love the details, like on the teacup and the spines of the books and everything. It just felt like it would be worth it to me, but I will probably be stitching this on 40 count, so it will not be completely enormous. And so I have I have a fairly big piece of 40 count Vertil that's not cut up yet. I think I was going to use it for some other projects. I have a smaller piece and a bigger piece. So, but I think some of those projects I might rather do on 28 count over one because they're not as big as this one. This one's 575 by 575, so I think I need to shrink that down a little bit. So that's exciting. That will be getting started in January for bingo. I will also be starting another full coverage in January. I guess I don't have a picture for you because it is a mystery sale. And I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and get it because I've been tempted to ever since I saw it advertised, and I realized I'm gonna want to do it and I'll be kicking myself if I don't. I've heard in the past Heaven and Earth Designs used to do mystery stitch alongs, and I don't think I was following them at the time, and so I didn't know anything about those. So this will be my first mystery stitch along with a full coverage piece. The theme is wildlife, and it's put out by the Cross Stitch Studio, I believe. And I'll put a little graphic up here maybe, so you can go find it if you'd like. They have, you can buy it now. I'm assuming maybe anytime throughout the year you can jump in as well. I'm not positive about that. But you buy it now, and then they give you a link in your, what they give you. They give you the symbol key with all the floss you need to get ready and like the dimensions and things so you can get your materials started, and then a link to a Facebook group that is private and you have to enter your order number in order to get accepted into the group. And then once you're in there, that group is where they'll be posting the files every month for the new portions of the design. And it sounds like the pages are smaller than Heaven and Earth Designs, are like large format pages, so it shouldn't be. I'm curious to see how much I can get done, how much I'll fall behind. We'll have to just wait and see how it'll go. Yeah. Anyways, so that'll be fun. It'll be an adventure, and I'm looking forward to it. So that one I kind of decided. I really liked the green fabric I got last week. It's either from one of the packages of D-Stash. I can't remember which person. I think Charlene maybe. And I measured it, and it was a 32 count, which made me a little nervous because I don't really like doing full coverage on 32 count. So, and it was dyed, so I think it might be too small. I may do a test stitch on that one because that could be fun. That seems like the perfect background color for the theme of wildlife, which potentially has flowers and animals and things. So I may go and do a quick test stitch on it to see if I can do a 1/1 half stitch on that, because I don't like 1/1 half stitch on 32 count. I've already discovered that. I did finish a piece like that, but it had a lot of black in it and you could see through it a lot. And then I've restarted two pieces. My Simpsons piece and my Young Gardener piece were both started on 32 count 1/1 half stitches, and I've restarted them now on 40 count. But if this piece, although I did measure it and it still measured 32, so I don't know. I can try a 2-strand half stitch, but I think when I tested that for the a Superman piece I did that I finished and gifted a while back, it was too thick with 2 strands, which I like on 28 count. So I'm thinking at this point I'll stick with Dove Gray Monaco, which is 28 count for that piece. That green was just so perfect. And I know there are some people that do 1/1 full cross on 32 count for their full coverage, which in theory then you should be able to do a 2-strand half stitch as well. Because I just don't want it to be too bulky. So I'm still hemming and hawing over that. If you guys have your opinions, let me know, but I may do a test stitch and see what I think before the new year starts. But I did stitch my temperature garden on 32 count 1/1 full crosses, and it was okay. But there's a lot of white space in that. So if it's a full coverage piece, I'm afraid it'll get too bulky. So we'll see. Test stitch possibly, otherwise I'll use the Dove Gray Monaco for that piece. And then I'll be starting those two in January. So that's gonna be really exciting. I'll probably start the Mystery Sal on the 1st, likely, because it comes out midnight Eastern Standard Time, but I'm 3 hours behind them. So I'll get mine on at 9 o'clock, or 9 p.m. on the 31st. But because I think actually I could use Tea and Books for my new start also in Full Coverage Fanatics, but because on the bingo card there's a new start square as well. But I could use Tea and Books for that one as well as the hot beverage prompt. So I don't know, because I could start it on the 31st. We'll probably be playing games to ring in the new year, so I likely won't have time to start it then anyways, but potentially I could. Anyways, that's like all over. Sorry to share my train of thought there, which is totally not very straight. Let's get into what I've been working on this week, shall we? Let's start as we usually do with my travel stitching, travel/TV stitching. I've got my temperature garden, not my temperature garden, my temperature tree. Worked on again, almost done with this one. It's getting close to the end of the year. So here is this one, 28 count 1/1 full crosses, and it's getting close. This is light blue even weave by Artiste, which you can get at Hobby Lobby. I did all these leaves down here, so they're mostly low 60s. This one got into the 50s, and this one down here is popped up into 71. It does get cool at night, at 30s and 40s at night, but it has been, you know, winter weather for Southern California. Fairly cool, but still sunny every day, you know, so when the sun comes out, it warms up. That's just how it works down here because we're so far south. And it's nice. Let's see. I also managed to finish my Prim Stitch series, number 5, Beauty and Simplicity. So this took me longer than I expected it to, just because I was busy with other stitching. But I finally got my customer stitching finished and was able to spend time on this during various show times. We watched Simpsons a couple times. BattleBots is back on, so we're watching that with a family. And those types of shows I can stitch during. So here is my finish. This is on 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, which is the called for fabric, although I am stitching mine 1/1 and adding in specialty stitches. So last time I hadn't finished these red flowers. I finished the red petals and then I added in Jessica stitches around for the centers. And this one, I believe, is the first one I worked on, and I restitched that Jessica stitch like I think 3.5 times, because the first time the hole was too closed, the second time the hole was too open, and the third time I figured it was going to be just right, and then I went into the wrong hole and screwed it up and had to rip out a few legs and then restart it. So, or restarted in the middle. But got it done. And I think that's cute. And so that one's finished up. So right now I could show you all the other ones while I have them out here. I am planning to, in case you're new, I am planning to make these into a doll quilt for my daughter, because they're based on a quilt, so I figured they kind of had a quilty look, so you might as well. That was the first one. I don't know what all their names are off the top of my head. That was the second one, all with my specialty stitch additions. And they're pretty cute. and that one that you just saw. So that'll be fun. I also got a start on the next one, which finally came in. This one is called Home and Hearth, number 6. And it's got, I believe these are called salt box houses, if that's correct? And it's got those 3 stars and a moon and a vase of flowers. So I'm not exactly sure where all the specialty stitches are gonna go. I'm kind of brain dead at this point as far as deciding what to do. Definitely have these centers still with a road stitch. I just started in on the house with the straight cross stitch, and we'll wait and see maybe some of the accents to the house. I'll do some specialty stitches. I'll probably do something in the vase. Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see about those leaves, if I'll do anything with them. So anyways, this is my teeny tiny little start. Same cloth, 1/1. This fabric, the thread is pretty pale and kind of gets lost on the fabric, but when it's got everything else around it, I think it'll be fine. Because it's the called for, so it should work, right? All right, so that's that. I'm excited to move over to the next pattern, and then I got my and then I got that one finished. That feels really good. The other thing that I had out here that I forgot to show you is this is some fabric that I found when I was looking for fabric for the various full coverage starts, and it's too small for the Mystery Sal, I believe. But it's a light blue, and it kind of made me think, well, this could be really nice for my typography pattern that I'm going to be starting in January. I was going to compare it. It's a little bit different. This one from Hobby Lobby looks a little warmer. So this is more pale than the stuff at Hobby Lobby, but it is a light blue. So you can kind of see the difference there. And it's a 28 count, and it looks like it might be like a Monaco. So I love stitching on that. And the temperature typography, maybe I'll put a picture in of that, is my newest temperature design in my shop, and that's the one I'll be working on in 2021. I'll do mine 1/1 like I have been doing all my other ones. I have it mocked up on white because the colors I chose are primary colors, which I thought were really fun. A really fun option for this style of the blocky letters. And I think those will also look good on this really pale blue. So I am going to go with that. So now I have this, I can cut it to size and serge it and all the things and get that ready for a new year start as well, which I'll probably start on the 2nd, because I need to have the first day's temperature before I get started. I'm also planning to use, I might use Pattern Keeper for that one. It's possible. I'm not sure if I will though, because I do work on it in the car regularly. My current temperature piece I like to work on in the car. So if I were to take this one in the car, I'd have to also remember to bring my Kindle Fire with me with Pattern Keeper, which I may or may not remember to do. So it might be easier just to keep using my pattern since it's a travel piece. I guess we'll wait and see how that plays out, because Pattern Keeper is so nice. The mystery stitch along that Cross Stitch Studio is doing is compatible with Pattern Keeper as well, which definitely makes a difference if you're considering wanting to do that. So that's exciting. Lots of fun coming into the new year. I'm probably gonna start, so I'm starting those 2 full coverage pieces, and I may actually start 2 more non-full coverage pieces that I've been toying with. One is a piece I want to work on for my anniversary, because I want to get it done before my 20th anniversary, which is in about a year and a half. So I figured I finished my son's touchdown piece, so for that family slot, I was thinking of doing my anniversary piece in there. So we'll see. I have other things I could put in that slot that are already started, but I do I do want to work on this piece. So I might start that in January. And the winter tree that's on stamped fabric, I'm very curious to try that. So that might get started in January also. Because it's a winter tree, I have to start it in winter. So anyways, we'll see. So what I worked on this week, let's start with Iris, since that's my ongoing. Here is Quick Stitch Iris in all its glory. This is a Josephine Wall piece. It's a crop out of one of her larger designs, and I love the smallness of it. I did miss a few days, but I got no, not that day. Oh, I missed more days than I thought. Oh no, there, it's up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 days on this week. So here it is compared to last week. Hopefully you're not getting tired of seeing this yet, because I'm showing it every week. I did a lot of the background in here. And so that's the main area that I worked on. This is 1/1 full crosses on 25 count. And I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm like at 61% or something, 60-something% finished. So that's exciting. Yay! I'm going to continue to work on this every day to try to get it done. So far, I'm not tired of it yet because the colors are so pretty, and it's a nice mix of confetti and blocks of color, so it's not a whole bunch of either one, and the blocks of color that there are smaller blocks of color, if that makes sense. And so it's keeping me interesting. There's no section that's just like a chore. So I'm really excited about that one. It's going well. And then the things I worked on mainly were Knitting Woman. I worked on that one first. And this I was doing for 2 acrostic challenges, and I believe it was 2 sets of 200. And one of them was for cat, one of them was for woman, but I ended up doing both of them in the cat just because it was one color and I could just go, and got a bunch of stitches in a short amount of time. So that was kind of what I needed this week, because of not scheduling in time for April Ferry when I really should have. So here is where this is at now. This is 22 count, 2/1 half stitches. And as you can see here, it's the tail of the kitty and the back. And this is actually the edge of an ear. There will be a little bit more of this dark color on the top of the cat's head, and then there's the rest of this part of the body. But just because of the way the rows were going, I ended up stopping. And this is actually a natural, clean vertical, which was interesting, because usually there's not those straight edges on the colors in a picture like this. But I thought that was cute. So now you can see where the cat's gonna get started, and there's actually no black in this piece. The darkest color here is 3371, and so that's kind of fun. It helps make it more natural, I'm assuming, with it doesn't have a harsh black in it. So I got a little over 400 stitches done on that one. And then I picked up, that brought me to the birthday challenge in the Cross Stitch Township group, and she wanted us to work on a sampler. So because it's winter and I hadn't worked on this in a while, I pulled out my Winter Wonderland band sampler by Chatelaine and got this done. I did this in one evening. I didn't finish it. I got my acrostic goals done in one evening, and I needed to do 2 sets of 50, I believe. So I worked on this little deer right here. He's 1/1. Most of this is 2/2 or specialty stitches, but the little animals are 1/1. And it's going well. And this is 32 count linen, I believe. I think last time I said it was Lugana, and it's linen. It's ice blue linen, Belfast. And here is where I'm at now. And so in this case, I am enjoying the 32 count. It doesn't feel too bulky. So I'm still really leaning towards that green fabric for the Mystery Sal, because I just think it'll be really nice. But here's that little 1/1 deer. He's not done, but I got what I needed for the 2 challenges, and then felt like I needed to stop because I needed to keep going and work on some other things. I think I started my April Ferry that day because I knew I just needed to get started on it if I wanted to get a chance to get all my acrostic challenges finished. So this will come out more in January and February for sure, because I do love it and I want to get more done on it. But I don't think I'll bring it out again anymore in 2020. But you'll see it again soon, don't worry. To finish that deer for sure, and then do some more of the animals and things. So, and then I got started on April Ferry. I wanted to go ahead and work on that right away because I had a feeling it was going to take a while, because I am stitching this in a more particular method, so it takes longer because I'm switching my needle frequently, rethreading my needle with the method I'm using. So this is what she looks like. She's by Hannah Lynn, and she's trying to see, getting close to this butterfly's wing. I think I'm like right there. I'm doing it on the diagonal, so maybe a couple more diagonals and I'll get there. That'd be fun. Lots and lots of hair so far on this piece, but it is enjoyable, so I'm not complaining. So here is where I got to. I managed to get a little over 400 stitches done on this one, which is exciting. And this is Rose Monaco 28 count full crosses, 1/1 full crosses. So I'm really happy with that. So I had none of this diagonal finished, so I did this whole diagonal, and I think 400 stitches was like right there, but this was all one color, so I just kept going. So it's a little over 400. Yay! So I really like how that looks. I love the colors, the oranges and the reds and pinks that pop out in stark contrast to the black. It's really pretty. Still enjoying that. And Pattern Keeper does make it a lot easier to do this method with parking than pen and paper, so that does speed it up a little bit from what I had been doing when I first started. And then I finally finished that on Sunday. That took me, I did little chunks on it for 5 days. Yeah, 5 days, because I either didn't have stitching time or didn't have motivation, or both. And so sometimes when I get really tired and exhausted, I just want to play on my phone or whatever, and cross stitches a little bit too much. So there were some times like that, and there were other times where it was just busy life, whatever. So it took me 5 days of little chunks to get the 400 stitches finished. And so that's kind of excessive, which is why I was so worried. I knew that piece would take a little bit longer to work on. Probably would have gone a little faster if I'd had more time on each day, but in the future, I cannot forget to put that one on my plans if I have goals for it. So note to self. I also, let's see, I worked on, very last challenge was going to be on my letter E Ferry, and I had 150 stitches that I needed to do on this. So I did that all on Sunday, and thankfully I got it done right before I went to bed. So this one I am doing on the called for fabric, but with most of my own flosses. And I'll put this on here so that it shows up the color a little bit better. It's on Water Lily Linen 32 count by Witchelt, and It's my own conversion with the red as well. And I worked, you can kind of see it sparkle. There's some Krynic along in here and along here and filling out this. Most of that was the 100 stitches, and then I finished it up for the 50 as well as some back stitching that was along here, which I doubled the count of the back stitching, or I halved it, I guess. I halved it. And got the 50 stitches with the rest of the Krynic and the back stitching. So this, I do think I can finish this year. I'll work on this next week after Christmas. I have the rest of the back stitching to do. There's a little bit more on the E, and then there's some more of these curly cues down here, and then beads. So that's definitely doable, and it will be really fun. So this will probably just take me a couple days to finish. So I'll work on that next week to get that wrapped up for the new year. And in the new year, oh, that means I'll probably need to start the next one in January also. These ones are kind of, I don't really consider it a start and a finish as far as whip numbers and whip count, because they're all kind of one big project. So when I finish one, I start a new one. And because I'm working on these for my nieces, and so I have a lot more to do. So I'm just when I finish one, I'll pick up the next one. So it's kind of a wash as far as starts and finishes go. So I'll finish that at the end of the week, and then I was just plotting. The next one I will do is the letter L, and that one will need to be in close to the 2nd, based on birthday. No, not the 2nd, the 5th, close to the 5th. So I'll be able to give the New Year, New Start with the mystery stitch along. I'll be able to get that a few days before I start my the next letter fairy. So that's probably how the beginning of my year is going to go. So I'll show you that later. So what did I work on? Is that all I worked on? I think that's all I worked on. Okay. So going forward into this coming week, it's gonna be a lot less complicated because the cross stick is now over. There aren't any more challenges in Township for this week or even this year. I'm pretty sure that the new challenges will start up in January. I have another cross stitch private group, Stitching Through the Little House on the Prairie books, that will start in January. And Full Coverage Fanatics, I've finished my April Fairy work for this. I chose that one for the Around the World Challenge in Full Coverage Fanatics for December, so I need to post my progress in there. And if I get some time at the end of the week or the end of the month, when letter E Fairy is done, I might come back and do a little bit more on Waterfall and Yosemite, but I don't know. I really don't think I'll be able to get that sky done even if I give it a bunch of days, but I guess we'll see, because that's another one that I had chosen for the Around the World and Full Coverage Fanatics. So we'll see. Those are things I'll think about for next week. But other than that, this week I'm going to work on 2 projects and work on planning, because I have a lot of planning that I still want to do for January and the rest of 2021 that I haven't done yet, and it takes time. And this past week especially, I started to do a little bit, but I felt like I had all those little acrostic challenges that I really wanted to get done. So when I had free time, I felt like I should be stitching. So I have plugged in a lot of these this is the Full Coverage Fanatics bingo during January. I plugged in a lot of them, but I might redo it or revisit it with some fresh eyes using mostly pieces that go along with their bookshelf challenge, and see if I can double dip a little bit more, because what I was doing so far with this one was a little bit more like I did in July, where I picked a bunch of different projects and almost every prompt was a different project, and I don't know that I want to go that route this time. I think I want to maybe choose fewer projects with more duplicates on the bingo board. So like I'll have 2 or 3 prompts for the same project instead of 1, and then just post before and afters for each square. But continue, like if I have a project scheduled for 3 days, then I can maybe do 3 bingo prompts and do 1 each day, that kind of thing. So I might just to kind of simplify the month a little bit since I have so many other things I want to do in January. So I think I'm going to revisit that and replan that and get my get all my projects categorized, because I would like to plug them into months or at least seasons and have a list of projects to choose from basically in each month that kind of are seasonal or seasonally appropriate for that month, so that I can not forget anything and move through the year. And if I have challenges that have certain things, I can look at those projects first to make sure I can try to fit those in as often as possible within that month or within that season. So it's kind of my goal, and I want time to do that. So the two things I'll be working on this week, as well as planning, are my new start for today for the winter solstice, first day of winter, is my winter floral cross. And this one is a Janlin kit. I got all these kits over the years as gifts. They're all fairly old. Now you can buy them. I don't think it's easy to find the kits anymore, but you can find the PDF or print versions of the patterns on either the Cooler Design Studio website or Everything Cross Stitch, and I think even 123 Stitch. That one maybe is just the print copy, but if you want PDFs, you can get them at Everything Cross Stitch or Cooler Design Studio. And all the prices, I believe, are pretty competitive with each other. So wherever you like to buy your patterns. So this one was still a full kit. The only one I have that was not a full kit was the fall one, and I ended up getting that as a gift from Everything Cross Stitch. Yeah, so they have them all here. This is this one, and autumn, and spring, and summer. And I have least work on that one, I think. But I have started these three throughout the year on each of the first days of the seasons, which you've seen, and so now I'm going to start this one. So I've got this slated for 2 days because I want to start the Heirloom Nativity sampler a couple days before Christmas and spend several days working on that around the Christmas time. So I will probably do what I have been doing with these and start in the middle to make sure I'm centered on my fabric and work my way to the top. So however far I can get in 2 days, that's what I'll do. This is the kit. This has got light green 14 count Aida, and all the floss, which is pre-sorted. I usually go through these cards and mark the symbols on the cards so that it's easier to find what I need when I'm looking for them, because there are a lot of colors in these. So that's some prep I'll do. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so this has light green. The spring had light blue and the summer had white. So the autumn one, I think it looks like maybe ivory, might have been in the kit, but I ended up using an oatmeal Aida for that one. So they're all on 14 count Aida, but they're all different colors. So I think that's really fun. So that'll be a fun start. I'll get that started today. And then around the days surrounding Christmas, I want to work on my Heirloom Nativity sampler by the Victoria Sampler. So yeah, I believe I don't know. I think I might be in the Wise Men. Well, let's unroll it and find out because I don't remember where I'm at. Yes. Okay, so this is how far I'm at. This is on 32 count linen by MCG Textiles in the color Dove Gray, I believe. And so I have everything completed 100% with beading and specialty stitches as I go. And so last time I got it to about here by the end of the year. And so I think I would like to also get it to that point this year, but that's going to take a lot of work because this is all I've done this year. Not a lot. So we'll see how much I can do in the few days surrounding Christmas. It's a lot to do and a lot of days to do it, but it is a busy time of year with festivities. You know, there's not a whole lot you can do, but we will still be doing things because we do stuff with our family here at home, and we have been meeting with my in-laws who live here in town, so we'll still be able to do stuff with them. So we've kind of embraced them as part of our household, so we can still do stuff together with them. Yeah, so we'll see. It would be nice to finish this scene and get these bands here finished this year, but that might be too much for this year. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it goes and how quickly I can progress through this. I don't want to rush it. I want to enjoy it, but it might go faster than I think. These go fairly quickly, but this scene will probably take a little bit because there's a lot of colors in there. So I guess we shall see. So that's all. That's all my plans for this week. I have those 2 projects and planning for 2021. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. You enjoy whatever you're working on, whatever you're stitching, whatever you're baking. I'll be doing lots of Christmas cookie baking this week as well, and pies and all the things. So that'll take up time. And my kids are off school now. They're currently watching Home Alone. So have a wonderful, wonderful week and a Merry Christmas. Happy stitching. Bye.